Hello, you're welcome to Restoration. We're brought to you by Kind Ketsi Fan Yogo, nutrition on the go. Nasemu Dipao on me. Today, I'm going to give you Fan Yogo one more time. Don't you love me? Yes, we do. You should love me too much, oh. I also want to say a very big thank you to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, special ice mineral water and special drinks, to Yas washing powder and Yas sanitary pad, and of course, my favorite breakfast choice, hooch, corn, and choco flakes. I also want to say a very big thank you to DDP for constantly supporting Restoration. If the media could kill people, our guest for today is one person who would have been a victim. Please welcome our guest for today, sensational Becca.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel.
Hello, darling.
See a bright light,
yes, let me
shining through. And it's just for you.
You can have a seat.
There is hope.
Yeah, I remember she was asking me,
the hug is becoming
what are you going to ask me? I said, I don't even know what I'm going to ask you. How are you, Becca?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're looking very good.
Thank you.
And looking very well.
Thank you. By God's grace.
Most stylish music personality of the year.
Yes.
Hey, what boy like, Papa?
Papa.
I mean, what? I know every time you're on the red carpet, a lot of work goes into you.
Right.
Why do you take so much time to do that?
It's quite simple. I think physical appearance is really important, and as a brand, it's a package. It's not just about, I'm a singer, so it's not just about the voice and going on stage and putting up a good performance. I think it's the whole appearance together. A brand, for example, one of your sponsors, you know, I'm sure they wouldn't have been so appealing to you, and you wouldn't have gone to them if the packaging and certain things about them were not nice. So physically, I try as much as possible to look nice at the same time, and it's very important because I'm a role model, and I know a lot of young people as well look up to me. So every time I'm going out there, I make sure that I look on point together with my music, my act.
Effort.
Exactly. You have to look nice. So that's really it. That's really it.
So now is when I sit well. Yeah, you have to sit well too.
Right.
Tell us about Rebecca growing up as a child.
Wow. I came from a very normal family, normal home. Wake up in the morning, morning prayers. We cannot leave the house without that, morning prayers. And when I was a child, I remember every morning I had to watch TV before going to school because I had to watch a certain particular commercial because the music was so good, and I would not go out of the house without watching it. So
which was that?
Should I say it?
Yeah, you can say it.
Because Sunlight.
Okay.
Exactly. So I had to watch that commercial because the song was so good. And so for me, it's waking up in the morning, saying your morning prayers, meeting up with the family, hopping in the car, going to school, studying, then they come to pick you back, come home. My father was barely at home because he was a businessman and he always traveled. So most of the time, I mean, I'll wake up in the morning and my father is not there because he's already left to go to work. And by the time I come home and I'm asleep, that's when he's coming home. So most of the time, for a month, I probably will not see my father. But my mother, I used to see a lot, you know. So yeah, so I grew up in a house where it was the very typical, you know, African setting. Child parents wake up in the morning, go to school, come back, you know, church on Sunday, that kind of life.
How horrible of a singer were you as a child?
I wasn't the best singer in the world, I must say.
Because I know every child thinks I can sing.
Oh no, I believed in myself. I believed I could sing. And now I'm sure if I would go to the studio, a chairman Kofi would be like, no, man, your pitch is so bad. You'll go back and go. But I sort of like, you know, when you're young and you're vibrant, you believe in yourself, and every note that comes out of your mouth, you think is the best. I used to sing a lot when I was young. I used to form music out of anything, the Bible, dictionary, every time. When they're busy reading John 3:16, I'm busy singing John 3:16. And so everything around me. I could just form phrases, John 3:16, something. I always made something out of, you know, words that were not supposed to be music, things that were not supposed to be music. I just always, some way or the other, coined it into music.
And was Mr. Champion the typical Ashanti man? Oh, Rebecca, would you ayaso?
Hey, right, there's some more. Now, on the club, I want to be. Yeah. I mean, my father, every time he was at home, he was the father, you know, and so when it's time for you to be disciplined, he would discipline you. When it's time for you to be, you know, appreciated and congratulated because you done something good and rewarded, he'd reward you. And he used to kind of sing with me. And I think from a young age, my father knew that I liked music a lot.
But did he really want you to do music?
That's such a simple question. He never wanted me to do music. My father thought he said, you cannot do music. At a certain point, when I said I want to do music, when I grew up and I was like about 16, I said, music is what I want to do. My father said, you cannot do music. I've taken you to school, I've paid so much for your school fees. I mean, every morning I do this, I do that. I go to PTA meetings, I'm doing that. I'm the chairman of the PTA, the board. You know, my daughter cannot do music. So my father never, ever wanted me to do music. Never.
Wow.
Never.
So how were you able to convince him?
Well, it was a difficult process. It was a difficult process. My father was not convinced until after my Sugar album had come out. And so every time I would do music, I would do it without him being aware I was doing music. But at the same time, I was going to school because I knew that was what was going to satisfy him. So I was going to school, but when I stopped...
Pleasing yourself and pleasing your father.
My father. I was just balancing the two. But at a certain point, I was distracted a bit because I was doing more of the music than the school. And so 1 year of my life, I took it away, and instead of finishing university, I took 1 year off, and I was recording in a studio. And that's when I had the worst time with my father. Worse.
How did he find out?
Well, he found out when the first song had come out, You Lied to Me, and the video was out, and everybody was talking about Becca and, you know, who was involved with Becca, who was managing Becca, and everything. I mean, TV, interviews. That's when he found out, and he was not thrilled. Because you know Ashanti fathers, even at that point, if he was proud of you, he's still thinking, I did not tell you to do that. So you cannot do it. You know, and it was a typical Ashanti father. And I've never understood him until maybe 5 years ago. Never understood my father. Because I think that now I'm mature, and now when he says things to me, I sit back and I'm like, oh, he meant well for me at that time. But music, he never wanted me to do it. He found out when the song was actually out. Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
I have, we're 10 in all. We're 10, yeah.
That's a number.
There might be more. There might be more, just more. Share.
So you're ready for surprises?
Oh yeah, anytime, bring it on. And my father will just receive you, so if you're out there and you think you belong to us, come along. And
are any of them also pursuing music?
No, none at all, none at all. But funny enough, every one of the siblings, my siblings actually sings. They all sing. They all sing quite well. But I'm not the only one that went professional with music. Okay. Yeah. So
from what you're saying, you've not really had issues with your father or your family?
Concerning music, I have.
Yeah.
I have issues. I have.
Serious issues?
Yes. My father, I'm telling you, Stacey, my father did not want to know what music was. And I realized that.
I think it's also because of the age he's coming from.
The age he's coming from, at the same time, that stigma around musicians, artists, and I mean actors in general. I mean, people think it's a combination of so many things. Some of the worst vices ever is what is associated to us. And so my father was thinking on those lines. Is my daughter going to be doing drugs? Is my daughter going to be drinking? Is she going to be involved in certain things I don't want her to be involved in? So I think together it was a father who was worried about his daughter and wanted her to go to the best.
World out
and
there.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time also going to the world out there and not going to do that professional kind of occupation that we're used to, like being a lawyer or a teacher or a doctor or something, and going to do music,
or
which was
a soldier like you've been contemplating lately.
Yes, I think I could be a soldier, you know. I think I could be. Every time I wake up and I think, I should have been a soldier. Maybe I should have been a pilot. But there's so much I want to do.
You would have never been at parades. They'll tell you, don't come.
Why not?
Yes, they'll tell you not to come.
Why not?
You know why.
Oh gosh. Yes,
have I lied? But tell her, no, don't come to parade. But yeah, talking about that, I was on your Instagram page, and a guy was busily, I would say it was quite disrespectful. Right. You posted a picture and he went to comment how once Ghanaian women learn to be natural and you're wearing hip pads. Yeah. But you didn't comment.
No, I did not comment.
Do you wear hip pads?
Don't I always wear hip pad in people always say that. I'm used to it now. I think I have natural hip pads. Wow, fantastic. Look at me. No, I never wear artificial hip pads. Naturally, God has given me hip pads on the side. God has given me natural hip pads, and those pads, when you see them, you'll probably think it's fake, but no.
Oh, one of my crew wants to see. Hey, God.
But I've never, ever wore hip pads before. I appreciate what God has given me. And
you've not done any surgery?
I've not done any surgery. I think it's also because I was very skinny. My waist was like a 24, and I was growing. I was like 19, 20. My hip was like, my hip was like, when I started into music, when I got into music, I was barely 20 years old. I was about 20.
Oh, so
my waist was 24. 24, so small, and my hip was, 37, model hip. And so I'm growing now. And if you know my family members, we're all endowed. My mother is endowed. My aunties are all endowed. My siblings are all quite endowed. Even my nieces that are growing up now are endowed. And so I've never, Stacey, ever wore any hip pads in my life before.
So beginning music at 19, and having your first share with the media in such a bitter way. And I think the media went on about it for quite a long time. How depressing was it for you?
In the beginning, it was a little depressing for me, but then because I was thinking, and it is depressing when it's not the entire truth. And people are right. I believe that there's no smoke without fire. So somehow there must be something that they're picking out to coin to make them happy. But sometimes you'd wish that people would get to know you more and based on facts, not fictions, and not what they hear out there. And you'd also wish that journalists and people in the media would actually do their own research instead of copying and pasting. And so sometimes you think that, oh, this is someone, that journalist that I respect so much. And I go and I read a story, and it's the exact story that someone has written that they picked them, and pasted, I think is like ridiculous. I was a little pushed aback. I was baffled. I was confused at a certain point because it was the first time it ever happened to me. And so I was like, gosh, what is going to happen to me? At that point, you start thinking, about your career. You start thinking, what's going to happen? Oh my God, my career, my family. You start thinking about your father now and how he warned you at that time and said that don't do it. That I told you so is the word that comes in my head all the time. I told you so. But it was a difficult time, Stacey. It really, really was. And we're human. I'm human, and so sometimes you sit back, and as much as you want to be superwoman out there, you know that your flesh is flesh, and you have blood in you. So you have a breaking point. There's a point where people pinch you so much, and it pierces you, and the blood starts coming out. It's difficult, but for me, over the years, it's toughened me as a woman. It's made me so strong, especially the first incident.
Did you ever cry?
I think a couple of times I did, yeah. So many times I cried, actually, not a couple of times. So many times I would cry, and I would think to myself that, have I done the right thing? Because you are like thinking, oh my God, gosh, is this the right thing to do? Why won't people just understand you? And you're thinking, you're sitting back in your house and you're thinking, why wouldn't they understand you? And I told myself, you know what? You put yourself out there. You told yourself you're going to be a public figure. You want to be popular. And so while people are praising you for the good things that you've done, even in the good things, you have people saying negative things about it. So how much more a story that has some kind of truth in it, maybe, do you understand? They will just coin it and make it the worst case, make it what is not supposed to be. And so for me, I was a little hurt about it. I was sad about it because I think that sometimes I just felt people were not considerate and people did not have feelings. But you'd realize that, you'd realize that it's a real world after a while. And you get tougher and tougher every time. And sometimes you hear stories about yourself and you just like snap your finger and you're like, I'm giving myself 2 weeks. I'm giving myself 2 weeks. Every time it tools on you a bit. People can tell, especially the closest people to you. When you're out there and there's makeup on your face, Stacey, and you're looking very pretty and you're wearing high heels, which I cannot even, when I was working, it was difficult.
Things we do.
You think that, people would think that, look at her, she's perfect. But no, we're all human. We have emotions and feelings. We go through sad times and happy times, and it's a combination of feelings. We go through the same thing.
Restoration.
Where When You Lie to Me became a hit,
Right.
when everybody was playing it, I mean, every child on the street could sing that song.
Right.
Were you fulfilled?
Some parts of me was fulfilled and others was not. The part that was fulfilled was that as a project manager, I knew that, a project, you have different segments of it and sequential arrangement, sequences to it. And one sequence was done. So I was excited about that part. But the entire project was not finished. It was the first song. And so for me, I knew that there was a lot of work to be done. And so as much as I was happy, I wasn't satisfied at that time. I was happy that the first song, You Lied to Me, had come out. I was praying and hoping that the whole album will be successful. And that is when I'll be satisfied. But you know what happens? As an artist, after an album is done, then you're not satisfied. Then you still want more to happen.
You play it in your car over and over.
Ever satisfied. You're never satisfied because you're the one that criticizes yourself the most. I'm my worst critic. I'm always like looking at even, what have I done to my hair? My eye. Is this too much? Is this too much? And so it's just like that on the album. I'm never ever satisfied, but I'm grateful to God and I thank Him for giving me fans and people that appreciate the music that I do, because like I say to myself all the time and I say to people that I do it for them. But for them to enjoy it, I must also enjoy it. Exactly. So I wasn't entirely fulfilled yet until the album was over. And when the album was over, I still was not fulfilled. And every day, I prayed that I could do better and better and better. So I'm happy and grateful to God for His blessings. But I think there's more that I could do every day.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
Starting your career at a very young age, it looked like you had suffered a lot of broken hearts. Because every Becca song was a sad, emotional song. Or let me say most.
Most of it.
Most Becca songs. It's either Obuma Tanta dear, Minyan Super.
Don't we love broken heart songs?
Hey.
They're always the hits.
I mean, what had you gone through? What had you seen? And you, even if you were not the writer, you carried the song so well, anybody, anywhere would feel it. Even if the person could not speak Chi, could still relate to the song.
True.
What had you seen?
I hadn't seen much of broken hearts at that time, probably not even one. but I think that I could relate. Because if I hadn't experienced it, I could have also experienced it personally. I could have experienced it through people around, through family members, through aunties and uncles that I know have got broken hearts.
They come home and they rush to their room.
Exactly.
And they start
Through my elder brothers and sisters that I know have been through broken hearts, I could understand it. And I think that for some reason, I'm the sort of person that can always empathize with people. I just understand and feel people's pain more. And so for me, doing songs like that was quite easy for me. At the same time, I think a lot of women, I did songs that women could relate to, because I tell people all the time it's easy for me because I'm a woman, and I understand what women go through, and I understand the emotion, the roller coaster, and the happy times and the sad times. And sometimes you just want someone to express, how you feel for you, and it's hard for you to say. But music is such an amazing tool, an amazing food for the soul that. When you do music, people can relate to it so much and so well, and that is why I think songs like You Lied to Me and Dakeda sang so well, because it was the voice of many people who wanted to express how they're feeling, and God had just blessed me to be able to just communicate that through my music.
Oh. And for me, I would say you're blessed because of all the musicians we have in Ghana and Africa. You were selected to go to the United Nations to actually be on the same stage with big names in the showbiz industry. You met big people that you would need appointment. But you're able to have a one-on-one interaction. And what even blew me away was your chat with the media. How did that make you feel?
Well, I was humbled, first of all, because aside being chosen from about 23 African countries, I was, aside the 5 of us who were chosen to go there.
From Africa?
From Africa. I was the only one who was chosen to go and do that speech, represent every African youth at that press conference. It was nerve-wracking going there. But when I was going there and I opened my mouth, I knew that I was there for a purpose. Because when I sat down and I turned back, I turned left and I right and I looked at everybody, I said, you know what? We're probably just about 3 black people there, and I was probably the youngest amongst everyone there. And so I told myself that you're here for a purpose. And that purpose is not just for you to get any fame, but it is something that God has ordained on you to do. And it's for you to just come out here and talk about the youth and tell people out there exactly what we're looking for. And so I think that I just went there. I'm telling you, I started writing something in the car, in going there. And when I went there, it just came like I had studied it for maybe a year before coming to
Let me tell you the part I loved. You said every time you meet to deliberate on African issues.
Yes.
However, no African has been able to mount this platform.
Yes.
But now.
Yes.
And I was so happy you were able to tell them just as it is.
Yes, I said
If
that.
you don't know our story,
yes,
how do you try to solve it?
It's amazing, Stacey. And the one that was, heartbreaking the most was this, that we're going on a stage that evening, and that stage had the likes of Beyonce and Jay-Z, it had Usher, it had Coldplay, it had all the big names on it. And it was the first time ever that Africans had been chosen to perform on that stage. First time ever. And so saying that was to draw the attention to the fact that all these issues, the global goal issues, are issues that are affecting we Africans.
Not them.
Not you. But you only have Americans performing on your stage. How are we supposed to communicate how we feel to you when there's none of us up there? Who is going to take this seriously? Even our people, are they going to take this seriously? Are they going to think you guys are really serious about us? Or are you just doing it for yourselves? They're talking about poverty and education and injustice and equality and all these things. I'm thinking, as much as it's affecting you, it's affecting Africa the most. And most of these things that you outlined, 17 goals, were affecting African countries. But nobody else on that stage has ever been. And so I had to let them know that we've seen what's going on. And even though I said it, in a diplomatic way, and they all laughed at it, in my head I'm thinking, I know you out there, I know you've all...
It went down.
It sank in very well. So we had to do it. Somebody has to do it.
And how many, like the performance, did they give you enough time for Africa to really exhibit what we have?
I think they could have given us more time. They gave people like Beyonce about 2 hours to perform. About an hour and a half almost to perform. She went backstage and performed, came back about 3 or 4 times. And the Africans, they gave us just about 10 minutes to be on stage.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. They gave us 10 minutes to be on stage. I mean, so in my head, I'm thinking, when I finished performing, I said, do you know the amount of people that were on stage here? And the kind of difference that we would have brought on this stage if you allowed
because
everybody...
our music is even diverse.
Authentic and original and beautiful instruments and things that they probably would have learned that they've never ever learned before. But no, they gave Africans 10 minutes and gave Beyonce 2 hours.
And you were all together.
And we're all together. And at the same time, this is what I thought. I said to myself that maybe next year is going to be better. At least we've broken the ice. We were able to perform for 10 minutes.
Impact.
And whatever it is, I could assure you that, I know when they were rating it, they rated Africans' performance to be one of the best. Because even the dance moves they'd never seen before was different, exactly. So,
and I'm sure those French guys did something. Yeah, I'm sure.
So and Two Farm, it was just amazing. It was just amazing.
We have such amazing talent here, and it's like they just don't want to know.
Let's just pray that next time is better. At least we've broken the ice, so we hope the next year. But the thing about Africa is that even if you give us 1 minute, we shine. So it was fine.
That is it.
It's fine.
And Bisa more chimpna. Are you dating Bisa?
No, Bisa and I are very good friends. Very good friends. And
lately, I saw some articles on social media that we were spotted kissing.
We were kissing, and they saw us kissing. They saw us kissing. Oh wow!
What really happened?
I haven't even seen it yet. I haven't seen. There's a lot of allegations going out there. There's a lot of things going out there. Bisa and I are very good friends, and I think that when you're good friends and you're a male and female, people always assume that something is going on. He's a nice guy. I'm not gonna lie. He's a really nice guy, and
that you could consider.
Oh, restoration. Well, I think that if it was
Anything
God's
is
will,
possible.
if it was God's will, yeah. But so far as I'm concerned, we're good friends
You're
now.
very good friends now.
We're good friends now.
Okay. So, she. Unya or donna, or yeah, watching so I mean, how did the song even come about? Because for a long time, you were quiet.
I was quiet, yes.
And I think it's very good for every musician that once in a while, you just go off for a year or two, refresh yourself and come back. And I respect that about you.
True.
That song, how did it come about?
Well, one lovely, it's today Saturday. One lovely, I think I was just like at home. One day I was home and then I had spoken to one of my big brothers and my mentor as well, Ochame Kofi, about music a long time ago. And I said to him that I wanted to do music, but now I don't even know exactly what song to do. I have done a lot for Ghana. I've done a lot in Ghana. I did a You Lie to Me, Dakeda, African Woman, all those ones. And I've gone international and I've done songs for Ice Prince and Mafiki Zolo and Uhuru and all those people. But now this is what I want to do. I'm looking at doing something different. But I want to go back to the Becca that people know and people loved. I don't know what to do. And he said to me, oh, Beba. So for a while, I mean, I was just there. And so, you know, sometimes you just forget about what's happening. You're like, okay, just give yourself some time, just do it. And then one lovely day, I got a WhatsApp message saying, check the song out, okay, from Ochame Kofi. And then I opened it and I listened to the song once. And you know, the thing about me is that when I listen to a song and I want to do it, people that know me will know me by now. I'll call you and say, where are you? As soon as I listen, I open and said, Ochame Kofi, really? So you can really do this song? And you've kept me waiting for so long with attitude on the other side of the phone. He didn't see. But if you had seen, you would know how I was behaving. That's when I was showing my woman skills. It's like, really?
Being a diva.
I said, you know what? I said, I was being a diva. At the same time, all I want him to say is the song is for you, come and sing it. But so I said, you know what, I really would like to do this song. Can I come and do it? And he says to me, oh, come to the studio, come to the studio. Then he gives me a call and says, oh, light off, Faba. I'm like, ish, light off. Because you know, when you really want to do something, and when you're recording, proper recording, you cannot have the sound of the generator in there. And so as much as the generator there, he wanted good sound. So I had to wait. So I waited for about 3 days. And then I went to the studio and I recorded a song. And when I know a song is good, and I know this is a song that is blessed, I feel it. And so I felt, as soon as I started singing the song in the studio, I said to him, this is going to be a hit. I said, Ochame Kofi, this is going to be a hit. And he says to me, I know. I know.
He was also being...
He was
also being his own diva.
And you know, when I'm in the studio, I can see him. So every time I was singing, I would look at him like, yeah, this is and I'm sure in his head I go, because he calls me Akusia. I'm like, and then I'll come to the studio, I'll come and listen. I'm like, and you need to say my any or say Becca a missing David had a man or say Messi or the open soko to a koto. Because he knows, you know, as an artist, you go to the studio and you want to, it doesn't matter how many times.
the best of you.
You want to do it so many times. And I know that sometimes the producer will go back to what he said was good. And you go back and listen to it, you say, some catch us in them here, but you'll be like, it's what you already recorded. So I knew and I felt that this was going to be a good song because I could relate to it. Because I was grown now and I understood things about love as well and understood how people... I heard that.
Yeah, we are listening.
Yes. And I could just feel singing the song. And I knew that every other woman will enjoy it because for a long time, Becca has sang songs about broken hearts.
Yeah, when you have a broken heart, you're waiting for Becca's new single.
Exactly. You know, oh yeah, oh,
is that true?
It's true. It's true. I know they're waiting for a broken heart song.
Yeah.
Right now, let's enjoy love. So I just thought, you know what? Now there's been too many broken hearts, okay? But in relationships, there could be some lovely times as well. So this is a song that I know that is the same feel, the same Becca feel, but with different content.
To celebrate love.
Exactly. So we're celebrating love and what love means. And so, man, I just love the song.
So when you were getting ready to release the song, did you have any anxiety? Did you have fears because you had been away for quite a while? Were you worried about how the media, how your fans were going to receive the song?
Oh yeah, everyone is worried, but I had so much confidence in the song. I was worried because you're thinking that how many times is this song going to be played? Because now there's a lot of songs that are like dance music and they are like, exactly, they are more of dance music and all that. So I'm thinking, this is a very easy song. It's a song that you must listen to the words and appreciate. So how are people going to take it? But I tell people all the time that when God has blessed something, nobody. Shed Your Dime is a song that is doing so well right now, and I just must say thanks to God. Aside the media's help and everything, because they're really being supportive, the media. I launched it on Kwame Sefakan's show, and so I appreciate every
and I
person.
see your face everywhere.
Yes, and we had to do some billboards too, thanks to, I mean, Shed Your Dime in the day, or don't soon because and you be the album be beba 7 songs pe your friend or don't soon and your friend 7 shades of love, and it's basically telling you about the 7 ways to love. But odono and yes say as on say sometimes you have a broken heart womb. Sometimes we kakra, kakra. Ada dream anyway be. And so it's different dimensions of love that I'm bringing to you. In the first dimension in here, let's celebrate love. The next shade is going to be something unexpected.
Restoration.
Has the media been fair to you? Looking at all the publications.
Okay.
From 19 years till now that you are 30. They have really abused you with their ink, with their fingernails, and with their stories. Do you think they've been fair to you?
You know how I'm going to answer that question? As much as you go through the pain and the struggle and everything that the media does to you, and sometimes it's not fair because it's not facts. I think the media has actually helped me so much. You know why? Because they've shaped me to be a better person. They've made me a very strong woman. And if you are in an industry and you've been battered so much and bashed so much, at a certain point, nothing deters you. And it's forward ever and backwards never for me. I've never ever looked back since I started music.
Because you can't do with them, can't do without them.
Because you can't do with them and you can't do without them. They help you to promote your songs, they bash you at the same time. But in general, it's shaping me. It really, really has. All the bad news, and the negative news, the positive news, everything together collectively has made me a better person.
And how are you able to keep it mute, to keep your lip sipped? There's never been a time where you've come out to try to explain anything.
Because it only gets worse when you keep trying to explain. I mean, when I was with my spiritual father, Daddy Eastwood Anaba, and I was talking to him and I was telling him that, Dad, you know what, sometimes it's so difficult. You just want to, just say something. And he says to me that, Becca, you cannot go to everyone's door and knock the door and say, I didn't do it. Knock, knock, open the door, I didn't do it. Open the door, I didn't do it. Open the door. By the time I finished the whole of Bawi, I can't even walk that much. And so he said that sometimes silence is golden. And I've learned it, and it's always good. Because you might just say something that you don't want to say in the process, because at that point there's so many emotions running and going through, and you might just say something that you don't have to say.
So I've learned not to speak when I'm angry.
Me too, really.
It's the best, because when you're angry, you say certain things you can never take back.
Trust
and the moment you say it, it sticks in the mind. And even when you've said sorry to the person,
it's still there.
Because once it gets here, it goes here.
Straight to the heart. Straight
to the heart. So you would go and say, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. The person says, oh, it's okay. But it's still here.
It's never okay.
Yeah.
Even though they say it's okay. So, and you'd always, I think that you want to have an upper hand all the time by being quiet. Because when you're quiet, you have an upper hand. Nobody knows what you're thinking and what's going through your head. Me say, nipati, right? Or pai must say, crampa. You won't know what's in the head.
Yeah.
You can never figure out. So that's what I use all the time. And that's one of the things I say all the time to people, that I personally have been through a lot with even friends.
I was going to ask you that you should have a lot of friends, because Becca.
I barely have friends. my friends are my family. I used to have friends. I used to have a lot of friends. Because I went to good schools. I went to Wesley Girls. I went to Morning Star School. I was in London Croydon College. I've been to Gimpa. So I've experienced all different kinds of schools, you know. So, and I used to have friends. I used to have friends that knew everything that I did. They knew what time I woke up. They knew where I was going to. And I would send them a message and send them a picture wherever I was in the world. But it's when you're growing and you see what friends have done to you and they do to you, and you realize that certain things that you didn't even understand was a cause of a friend, somebody that you actually called your sister, then you know that you have to just cut down friends. Be very, very careful in life, because I've been through it with friends.
So now how do you want Ghanaians to see you? I'm sure different people have different perceptions about Becca.
True.
Now you're here.
Yeah.
We've seen a lighter side of you, a softer side of you.
I'm always soft.
A side most people don't see, because from afar people think you're very arrogant.
Right.
Am I lying? From afar people think you're arrogant.
Because me I say man should be anymore, because me and me ferry omu.
Oh, very well. So how do you want Ghanaians to see you now?
I think that I just want Ghanaians to not see me the way they see me. Because I'm not going to tell people how they want, I want them to see me. I want them to see me how they want to see me. Because I could coin something very pretty and say, see me as the princess of Asante Krom. Kumasi Osekom Nana me Jimmy Hodi. Make me free, go yes, I'll take a course in Nana. And I could tell you so much. But at the end of the day, your perception is still going to be the same. It doesn't matter what I tell you. So I'm going to just tell Ghanaians that they should, only thing I'll say is that they should see me as their sister. But they should just see me for who I am. How they see me in their eyes is what they should maintain seeing in their eyes. So that's it.
Your foundation, is it still functional? Are you doing any projects?
I do. I mean, we've got the Diamond Child Foundation that is going on now, and right now we're starting a campaign that is the hashtag Send Your Girl Child to School again. I think it was something that was in the past, and we sat down in management and we decided to bring it back again. So Send Your Girl Child to School is something that we're working on now. So yeah, it's going to be big. It's important.
You remember that song?
Send your girl child to school.
Let's start it. You all remember that song, right? Mama, I wanna go to school. Papa, I wanna be in school. I wanna be a doctor, a teacher, and a technician. Mama, I do wanna be in school. Oh yeah. So Papa, let my dreams come true. Yes. Send your girl child to school. Send your girl child to school. And don't wait a moment. What was your favorite advert on TV?
Hey.
Those times.
I like the, in the morning, the one I was talking about.
The sunlight.
Yeah. Sunlight, sunlight and water. Pure sunlight and water. It's all that you need. Long-lasting sunlight. Fresh as the morning. Make me two different voices.
Takes care of your family.
Pure sunlight. And the back of me, so now, Lotto kiosk be. Not watching. Debbie, yeah.
I want a friend. My name is Lawyer Doctor. Those were very good times.
Yes, yes.
And you know my favorite?
And the cat one. A crab, from nowhere. No,
insurance. And I loved the nail company.
That was Papa, Dream and Juniper, Papa, Jimmy, Pioneer Nails, Adorment. That was Papa, the already Juma.
I need to consume of the day. And for a boy, you do no muscles. I just have a board, no room, no care, no bed. Yes. I have vitamin A.
Something.
I have vitamin B2. Together we give you nutrition to help your children have a longer growth. There is still another one.
Which one is it?
there is still another one. This is no brand related. We're just having a good time. Medwa for pa.
Anything.
In Fibebreya, Michelle.
That's soap one.
Key soap.
Key soap, yeah.
Those were
something like that.
And then I remember there was this promo with the keys. If you get a key,
you cut it and then.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, after you've taken them back home, look at that.
I've given you a good time, right? Becca, I want to say a very big thank you. You see the way you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you all the very best, and I know this is just the beginning of greater things. Amen. Where you were was your foundation.
Yes, please.
And this is a springboard, and I believe you've jumped. And you're on a new phase, and God is going to see you through. Amen. Just keep on believing in God, because without Him, you're nothing. Okay, I love you so much.
Love you too.
Before you leave, I'm going to spoil you a little from our sponsors. Yes, they have a beautiful hamper for you, and from Hooch Cornflakes, my favorite breakfast show. And you know what? My favorite breakfast, you know what she does? She's been stealing them from me. She comes and she takes it and puts it in her car.
I only steal from my sister's house. That one is not stealing.
You have enough for yourself, madam. You have enough for yourself. Yay. Stop robbing me of my Hooch Cornflakes.
Don't worry, I'll keep this for next year. I'll come to your house for it.
So we also have some Hooch exercise books. So I'm sure when you go around to the schools to talk to the girls, we can also
I'm sending that to Beyonce and Josiah and Callista.
Okay. That is abuse because they have a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
And also, I'm giving you this. Don't come to my house for Hooch Cornflakes again. And Fun Yoga wants you to have this. It's actually more.
Wow.
So when we step down, I'll give you the rest.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and that one too, I'm free at least for the next month. This is the only arm dropper I have around. That was a joke. I want to say a very big thank you to Fun Yoga, our sponsor of restoration, and also to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, where we record every time. I'd also want to say a very big thank you to Special Ice Mineral Water and Special Drinks. Make sure you're getting your special drinks this Christmas for yourself and the entire family. I also want to say a very, very big thank you to Nancy Black for my makeup, to Roji Studio for my hair, and now Roji has moved from Sakaman to Kokompe Eye Clinic. So if you want to go to Roji, please don't go to Sakaman. She's now at Kokompe Eye Clinic, so you can find her there. And of course, to Ophelia of ABS Collection, Dansuman Zodiac, thank you very much for this beautiful outfit. And to DDP, I appreciate you so much. And always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel. I see a bright light shining through. And it's just for you. There is hope for the tired and weary. Open your eyes and you will see the perfect friend in me. Restoration. 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 It's easy. Restoration. 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 It's easy. This is where to share it all. A common place for one and all. Let's hold each other's hands and stand tall. Set yourself free and tell